There's something happening silently in millions of homes around the world, something that no statistic can fully capture. People are giving up one of the oldest experiences in human history and choosing a dog instead. This is not a passing trend. It is a profound shift in the way human beings are defining family, love, and belonging. And when you understand what is behind it, the answer is far more complex and fascinating than it seems. Let us start with a number that surprises a lot of people. In several developed countries, the pet dog population already surpasses the number of children. In Brazil alone, there are already more than 58 million dogs living in homes, and the birth rate has dropped to the lowest level in history. This is not a coincidence. Psychologists, sociologists, and animal behavior specialists are pointing to a very specific connection. The human brain responds to the face of a puppy in almost the same way it responds to the face of a human baby. The same neural circuits, the same impulse to care for, protect, and love unconditionally. Nature, in a way, created an emotional shortcut between humans and dogs that has lasted more than 15,000 years. But why now? Why is this choice becoming so common at exactly this moment in history? To understand that, we need to look at something few people talk about openly: the emotional cost of the modern world. Never in human history have people felt so digitally connected and at the same time so deeply alone. Modern loneliness has become one of the greatest public health crises of the 21st century. And dogs, in a way that no technology has managed to replicate, offer something that human beings desperately need: presence. Real, physical, unconditional presence. Without judgment, without expectations, without demands. When you come home after an exhausting day, your dog does not ask how your day went. He is simply there. That unconditional presence activates in the human brain the release of oxytocin, the same hormone as maternal love. Researchers at Azabu University in Japan discovered that simply looking into your dog's eyes already triggers this process. It is a chemical exchange of love, and it happens in both directions, in the human and in the dog. But there is a dimension to this choice that goes far beyond brain chemistry. It involves freedom. The generation that is today between 25 and 40 years old grew up watching what the traditional family model cost previous generations. They witnessed enormous sacrifices, postponed dreams, identities dissolved inside roles that were never freely chosen, and many decided they wanted to build a different life, with more autonomy, more mobility, and more choice. And the dog entered that equation as the perfect companion for this lifestyle. Love with autonomy. But could this simply be an escape from responsibility, a generation afraid to grow up? That is the most common criticism, and it deserves an honest answer. Taking care of a dog is not easy. It requires time, dedication, presence, and a real and daily emotional responsibility. Anyone who has a dog knows there is no emotional time off. You are always present for another being that depends completely on you. This is not an escape from responsibility. This is a different way of exercising love and commitment. Now let us go into something that few documentaries address: what dogs do for the mental health of those who have them. Studies show that people with dogs have significantly lower levels of cortisol, the stress hormone. They have lower blood pressure, lower risk of depression, and a statistically longer life expectancy. The simple act of petting a dog for 10 minutes already reduces the biological markers of anxiety in the blood. This is not sentimentality. This is physiology. It is the human body responding to a bond that was built over millennia. There is yet another social dimension to this choice that is rarely discussed. The dog as a community builder. People with dogs talk to more strangers. They create connections in parks, sidewalks, and veterinary clinics. The dog works as a natural social catalyst, something that the digital age has progressively been destroying. But now we need to touch on the most sensitive point of this entire conversation. What happens when this love is not enough? There are people who choose dogs and then realize they still feel something incomplete, a longing for something they cannot name. And there are people who find in dogs a genuine completeness, a family that makes sense for who they have become. Neither of these experiences is wrong. Neither is more valid than the other. And perhaps that is the most important point of all. Modern behavioral science no longer treats the human-animal bond as something secondary or lesser. It is recognized as a real attachment bond, with the same emotional structures as any deep human relationship. The dog learns to recognize the emotional scent of its owner. It knows when you are sad before you even realize it yourself. Neuroscience studies show that dogs process human emotions in brain areas homologous to those of humans. They are not simply reacting to the tone of your voice. They are in some way feeling what you feel. And this empathic capacity was not trained. It was co-evolved, built over generations of living alongside humans. We have now arrived at what may be the most revealing moment of this entire video. What dogs are teaching us about ourselves. When a person decides to build their life around a dog, they are making a silent declaration about what they value. They are saying, I value presence over performance, loyalty over convenience, simple love over complicated love. And this, paradoxically, is making these people more capable of relating to other humans as well. Because those who learn to love a dog unconditionally develop something very rare in the modern world: genuine emotional patience. But let us be completely honest. This choice also carries an emotional cost that almost nobody talks about. A dog's life is short, frighteningly short for those who love them as family. And when that inevitable moment arrives, the pain is real, scientific, neurologically equivalent to the loss of a family member. Researchers in Scotland discovered that grief over the loss of a pet can be just as intense as grief over the loss of any loved one. Right here in the comments, have you ever been through the loss of a dog? What was it like to learn to love again? And even so, people come back, they adopt again, they love again, knowing exactly what is going to happen. Why? Because what a dog offers cannot be replaced, cannot be calculated, cannot be fully explained by reason. So why are so many people choosing dogs instead of children? The real answer has nothing to do with immaturity or fear. It has to do with a generation that learned, often in the most painful way, that real love does not need social approval to be valid. A generation that is redefining what it means to build a family. And dogs, with all their ancestral loyalty, are at the center of that. Perhaps what they teach us most deeply is this: that the love you freely choose is the love that transforms. If you made it this far, you probably know exactly what this video is talking about, because you chose to. If this video touched something you feel, subscribe to the channel. Every week there is a new deep dive into the inner world of our dogs. And before you go, tell me in the comments, did your dog change who you are as a person? I really want to know.